We have an update on breaking news. 3 Kansas City police officers have been shot in the line of duty tonight. This all happened at 23rd and Blue Ridge Boulevard. We are also outside the hospital where Chief Stacy Graves is getting ready to address the media. And also below, if you look on your television screen, you'll see that that is the scene where there is still a heavy police presence. So we are monitoring a number of different situations. We don't have any clarification that there are any suspects in custody, but we are waiting, and you can see that the chief is getting mic'd up so we can hear her and bring her statements to you. We are desperately wanting to know the condition of the officers who were shot in the line of duty about 10 o'clock tonight. We do know that at the scene, which started at 23rd and Blue Ridge, the 2300 block of Blue Ridge, and the live pictures that you're seeing of the scene are on the other side of the crime scene at Blue Ridge and Westport. They are still waiting for a suspect or suspects to surrender.
Just after 9:30, officers were executing a search warrant in the 2300 block of Blue Ridge Boulevard. As they knocked and announced and began to breach the door, they took gunfire. 3 of our officers were struck. They did return fire. They self-transported to a local hospital, and all 3 are thankfully in non-life-threatening condition.
Can you tell us about why they were there?
Right now that's an open investigation. I'm not really sure exactly what the particulars were for the probable cause for the search warrant. I just know that they were there to execute a search warrant. The scene right now is an active Operation 100. Kansas City is still on scene, but Independence Police Department is taking that Operation 100 over for us.
What can you tell us about these 3 officers?
3 officers. They are tactical response team officers. They are highly trained, good men, and we just are so thankful tonight that each one of them, I was able to physically talk to them, and they talked back. So right now I feel like that's the best situation that we could be in right now under the circumstances.
Was it a house? Was it an apartment?
It was a home. Yeah, and once they started to breach the door, that's when they took gunfire.
Is there anyone in custody?
No one in custody yet. It's like I said, it's an active Operation 100. We are still on scene. That's still active, and that's still playing out. We hope that the end of that is going to be peaceful, and that it results in us taking someone into custody.
How many gunmen do you know?
We don't know that. Our tactical response team has an idea of how many they think may be inside the home, but we're really not sure until we call people out and we know exactly how many there are.
Can I ask what those officers said to you when you were in their rooms?
That they were okay. They said that they were okay. They were able to talk to me. They were able to, they were all conscious, and that's just the best scenario I could have right now.
And I saw members from multiple different police departments for the 3 officers shot from KCPD.
Yes, they are 3 KCPD officers. Sometimes when our tactical response team, in situations like this, we have a lot of area law enforcement agencies. We all come together. We have that inseparable bond that law enforcement has, and we all come in to help each other in times like this.
Did the officers return gunfire?
Yes, the officers did return gunfire. I don't know how many shots. I don't know if anyone is struck right now. Like I said, it's still an active Operation 100. We'll find that out as it progresses.
Do we know what type of gun was fired from the gunman?
That I don't know, and we may not know that until the scene has been secured, everybody's in custody, and we can get our crime scene techs to come in and see exactly what we'll find there.
Do you believe your officers were targeted?
I don't know. I just know that they were executing a search warrant, and when they knocked and announced. When they went to breach the door, that's when they took gunfire. So obviously, whoever was shooting at them, I would assume that they knew that they were police because they knocked and announced. And when I say knock and announce, I mean knocked on the door, police. That's when you announce that you are the police.
We see crime scene investigators now pulling up. What is happening inside?
So right here we have 2 of our vehicles that self-transported, like our officers. When I say self-transport, that means we drove ourselves to the hospital. We have some of those vehicles here. I will tell you, since we did return gunfire, this investigation will be taken over by the Missouri State Highway Patrol.
So you said those officers drove themselves to the hospital?
Oh, there were officers from the scene that drove them here.
been a hard week, past couple weeks for KCPD. How's the department feeling?
You know, it's been more than an awful week, but what I'm seeing here tonight, our officers are okay considering the circumstances. Like, some of their injuries may last far beyond today, but they're here with us. They are. They looked at me in the face. We had conversations. I thank them for being here, and I thank them for the fact that I can have a conversation with them. So that right there is giving us all, you know, a sigh of relief, especially what has occurred over the past couple weeks.
And all of these cars are all shows of support.
All of these cars are show of support, or they may have been directly involved, and if they are, then those people are taken off to the side and they will be taken downtown for statements. But yeah, it's mostly a show of support. Whenever, you know, and you guys may have seen this before, whenever we have an officer that's injured or hurt seriously in the line of duty, you have this response. You have KCPD, you have other area law enforcement agencies coming out and checking on each other. Does anybody have anything else? Did you want me to give that to you again?
If you don't mind, I really
Yeah, sure.
appreciate that, Chief. Thank
Yeah,
you so
what do you
much. Could you
Just do a rundown of
All right, so that is Chief Stacy Grays with the Kansas City Police Department, who is at University Health, where the 3 officers, they were tactical response officers, were taken earlier tonight after being shot while serving a knock and announce warrant, and that's when they took gunfire. The best news that we could hear from the chief is that those officers were conscious. They were talking to her. They told her they are okay. These are non-life-threatening injuries that these 3 officers who took gunfire, non-life-threatening injuries. So that is just really the best news that we can hear. As for the scene that is taking place in the 2300 block of Blue Ridge, that's still an active scene. The suspects who shot the 3 police officers who opened fire, they are still in a house or in some sort of structure, whether it be a business or something, and that's why the tactical unit is still on the scene. Now, these are live pictures, and you see that there is one tactical unit vehicle that is either repositioning, it looks like repositioning probably, and as we know, they're going to stay poised and alert and outside this crime scene, well, within the crime scene, trying to work for, as the chief said, a peaceful resolution with the suspect or suspects that are inside. That could take a tremendous amount of time, and of course it takes a tremendous amount of patience as well. But the summary of what has happened tonight in Kansas City, Missouri is 3 officers who were hit by gunfire have non-life-threatening injuries. They are going to be okay. As for the suspects, they are still holed up in some sort of structure, and this active scene at the 2300 block of Blue Ridge continues well into the night. And our First News crew is getting ready to come in. They're going to update you on everything that is happening from now until 4:30 when First News begins.